Hi, Caroline Kearney here at Powell Arts, and I'm standing with the wonderful Diedra McGrory in front of her piece, which will be in our juried show from now through May 14th. Diedra, can you introduce us to your piece?
Yes, this is a watercolor painting of a tree from Sadler's Woods in Haddon Township.
So this, one of the things that I think is so cool about this piece is it's very detailed, and you can see you've left a lot of translucence in a way that really feels true to how one layers the leaves in it. How nature layers leaves in the tree, and you've allowed the branches to come forward and recede. How did you think about that? How did you think about this composition when you started?
Well, I was walking like I do almost every day in Sadler's Woods, and it was a nice sunny summer day. And I was sitting down and I was just looking up at the trees. And I took some pictures. And when I got home, I really liked the picture.
Well, the perspective is so unique because we don't ever think of it like we spend a lot of our times under trees, and yet we always draw them from a distance. Whereas this, you are in looking up at the tree, and yet we know that we can tell we're standing right here, we're standing right by the thing, and yet we can tell that this is a tree that you're standing next to. So when you thought of this, how you decided to just do the trunk?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How did you work this out mechanically? Because it's so interesting.
I did a few paintings first of how I wanted the branches to look. I did a more square, but I really like the rectangle better.
I like the rectangle too.
And
did you have a picture that had, and you captured it really well.
And I changed the color on the picture to make it more dramatic, so that when I paint it, it doesn't look exactly like the photograph, but it helps the yellow stay really bright.
Well, and you did a really beautiful job of juxtapositioning the complements. So the greens here and the reds here, and bringing in the oranges that kind of pop, make it bring forward the blue, from the blue. Would you call this? So it's not it's a landscape, but it's representational. But it also feels like you're ready to approach and engage with this tree. In terms of engaging with it, how do you think of it?
Wow, thank you so much. I'm so glad that the things that I was trying to portray with the painting, that you can see it, that what I was trying to do.
That's why it's a great piece.
Thank you. I see the last part I did of this painting. At first I did all the green and the tree and everything. But the last part was adding the sky color.
Yeah.
And I feel like the purplish sky color makes the yellow more vibrant.
It really does. Yeah, because you can see the little patches of it here.
Yeah, and it was really a play with opposite colors.
Yeah, and you've really leaned into
color
theory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it really worked.
I think it does too. And also I think something that's really great about this is that you've really juxtapositioned diagonally. So you have the density here, and the darker greens, more verdant greens, and the more yellow and lighter you can tell that this is a different type of tree or something. And you've really juxtapositioned them nicely so that they take up the space and add this really nice interest there. One of the things that I also find so fascinating is the way that you've made your leaves. It makes this almost look, because they are so uniform and yet they each hold their own space, it looks almost like you're layering tissue paper or something else translucent, and you can really feel the light coming through in a way that's almost stained glassy. How did you? I'm assuming that you use the brush almost like a stamp. Is that true?
Actually, I used a small brush and I kind of outlined every little leaf, and I did layer them so that they got darker and darker here. And
It's
I
so
really like painted every little leaf.
It's so beautiful because they look singular. Like even like there are places where like you're using the brush in a lot of different ways here. So you have like very active like strokes through this, and then busier strokes through this, and then you have like these are almost solid, like not solid, but like they have the reason I was asking about stamping is because generally stamping looks more firm and uniform, and these aren't uniform exactly, but each one of them takes like their own little spotlight. And so I was like curious because these are very, it's a lot of them, and in mass they become very elaborate.
Yeah.
So I also feel like one of the things that you are doing here is you're using it looks like you're using a minimal palette, but if you actually look, you're not. Like I would venture to say there's every color of the rainbow in here. How did you think about that when you were talking earlier about how you use the purple to make the yellows pop? How did you think about color generally when you went in this?
Well, I really, really wanted it to look like a summer day, like you were looking up through the trees.
Yeah.
And the sun was shining through the yellow ones. And like, you know, it does look like stained glass when you're out there and you're looking up at the trees. And I do a lot of paintings like that.
Well, yeah, and there's
that have a stained glass quality to them. And I paint on windows like your mom.
I did not know that. I knew that you said that you were you do sculpture and pottery as well.
I do, and I'm very interested in like light and the rays of light and how light.
Well, and it shows. And you have a piece that is similar to this that we'll put a little link to here, and it has similar elements, but it has a differing perspective, which I think is really cool. So you're really exploring this through
perspective.
Yeah. So, well, I think it's lovely.
Thank you.
I hope that lots of people come see your beautiful, verdant, energetic, sunshiny piece, which will be here for our juried show from now through May 14th. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was fun talking about it.
So it's, I really like.
I know I added red to those parts.
But also this yellow, like it looks so beautiful.
Thank you.
So this is great.
Well, a lot of it I learned at Rowan from Dr. Appleson, and me and your mom were just talking about him.
I was going to say, yeah, she loves him.
And the composition of a lot of my art, like I think about him.
Yeah.
Because he had made such an impression on
we have a couple
everybody, whoever had him, I think.
Yeah.